All right, y'all, get out your maps. Just kidding, I know you don't have maps. We need to go visit Europe because while all of this is going on in the United States, Europe is, for lack of a better term, in shambles. Things in Europe are contentious. And we don't really care because we're America and we have our own things going on, right? But at some point, we're going to have to care. So, Europe's kind of at odds with each other. The German Confederation has broken up, and nationalism is on the rise in Europe because as the 19th century ends and the 20th century starts, we start to see people in Europe associate themselves with the country they live in rather than a member of just a small community or a larger empire. And a lot of that has to do with Germany and Italy becoming independent nations. So if we go way back to Napoleon, right? Napoleon had tried to take over all of Europe and it didn't go well. And the German Confederation is broken up around like the 1850s. And Germany decides that they're going to become Germany. And they're going to be led by men like Otto von Bismarck, who believe that Germany needs to be run by iron and blood and iron. Sorry, blood, iron, and republics is the class I took in college. Otto von Bismarck believes that Germany should be run by blood and iron, which means we're going to go to war and we're going to industrialize, and that's how we're going to take over. And he really pushes this idea of being German. And that's the first time people have really heard of that because there isn't really this concept of being German. But people are going to start to identify as German. At the same time, the seven kingdoms of Italy are unifying to become one united Italy. Now, before these seven kingdoms unify, you weren't Italian. You were Neapolitan or Milanese or Sicilian. But Italy is going to unify itself, partly due to Napoleon and some other issues. And they are going to become Italy. And that's important because now people can be German and they can be Italian. And if you are German and Italian, you can tell other people that they're not German and Italian. And it's not that other people did not necessarily connect themselves with where they came from, but things are a lot smaller when there was no way to connect to each other outside of your community. But now we're getting trains and telegraphs and all this industry, and now you can connect to the bigger cities. So you start to see yourself as a bigger part of the world. And without the map in front of you, this is really hard to do, so hopefully you guys will look at a map. But what happens is that Germany is not as big as it is today. It's kind of like this size, okay? And this chunk down here is Austria-Hungary. And then over here, we've got Russia, and Poland doesn't really exist. Austria-Hungary is part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. But that empire is falling apart. And the two big empires, the Austro-Hungarian Empire and the Ottoman Empire, are holding on, but they're really in downfall. And so the Austro-Hungarian Empire wants to hold on to what they have, which is Austria-Hungary, which also includes a section of Bosnia. And Serbia does not want to be part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire anymore. This is very important, okay? So, one day, the Austro-Hungarian Archduke is off in Bosnia visiting his countrymen. Whether they want to be his countrymen or not is not the point. He's off on a tour with his wife, and they are walking through the streets when they are assassinated by a Serbian nationalist who does not want to be part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire anymore. So the Archduke and his wife are assassinated, and this makes Austria-Hungary super angry. And so they demand that Serbia issue them an apology. But Serbia has a secret alliance with Russia that nobody knows about. And so Serbia refuses to offer this apology to Austria-Hungary because they have a big ally on their side. And nobody knows that they have that ally on their side. So Serbia says, we are not apologizing to you. And Austria-Hungary says, you better, or you're going to leave us no choice but to go to war. And Serbia says, okay, go to war. And so Austria-Hungary has no choice but to go to war with Serbia because Serbia assassinated their Archduke. But when Austria-Hungary declares war on Serbia, Russia then declares war on Austria-Hungary. But Germany and Austria-Hungary are allies. So when Russia declares war on Austria-Hungary, Germany declares war on Russia. Now you'd think that would be the end of it, but it's not. Because then Germany decides if they're going to go to war, they might as well go all the way and get back some of that land that Napoleon had taken from them, and that I don't remember the name of the committee. It'll come to me later. But when the committee, after Napoleon had broken up the German Confederation, they had taken this little chunk of land, which used to be part of the German Confederation, and given it to France. It's called Alsace-Lorraine. And Germany wants that back. And now it's prime time to go get it back. So they are going to go back into France and get their land back from what they believe is rightfully theirs. But in doing so, they go through Belgium, and Belgium was supposed to be neutral. And so when they march through Belgium, Great Britain and France have to declare war on Germany because they are allies with Belgium. So now Germany is at war with Russia, Great Britain, France, which means Austria-Hungary is at war with Russia, Great Britain, France, and then Italy joins their side and decides that they are going to go to war with them as well. And then the Ottoman Empire jumps in and decides that they're going to side with Germany and Austria-Hungary. And because all of these countries have colonies all over the world, all of these other places that you were like, well, what are they doing over there, are now involved because these European countries had colonies across the world. So Japan gets involved, and Chile gets involved, and Venezuela gets involved, and pretty much everybody gets involved except the US, who's staying out of it because that's what we do. So in 1914, the catalyst for this war is the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand in Bosnia by a Serbian nationalist. And this is going to lead to 4 years of war. But it is a brand new war because most people have never seen this kind of war before, because now we have all this increased militarism from industrialization. So we've got all these brand new weapons. We've got tanks, mustard gas, machine guns, field artillery guns, flamethrowers, things that have never existed before, and now we have them, and we can kill people from far away instead of face to face. It's going to change the face of warfare. It's going to change how wars are fought. It's going to change military uniforms. It is going to change everything. And there's so much more to that. But again, we're supposed to be talking about US history, so we need to move on from what's going on in Europe and just know that there are 4 main causes of World War I: militarism, alliances, industry, and nationalism. The 4 things that we just talked about. You're militarizing your nation. You are forming alliances all over the place. You are industrializing, and there's a strong sense of nationalism. And this is going to cause this war to go on for 4 years. It's super deadly. It's super aggressive. And the US does not come in until 1917 when Russia exits to go deal with their own revolution. So we are going to talk about why the US joins. The rest of it you'll have to look up on your own or take a world history class.